This week's episode of Your Hometown Kitchen is sponsored by Queen City Home Store.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Your Hometown Kitchen. I'm Brandon Dawson, and of course I'm here with my co-host, the best dressed guy in Augusta, talking about my guy, Jared Ledger. Jared, how are you today?
Brandon, I'm feeling spicy today.
If you're feeling spicy, then you're going to be excited about our guest because he is bringing the heat, Jared.
Ooh, is he also bringing some swampy?
Oh, he is. Let's go ahead and get our guy, Chef Ken, on out here. Kenny, how are you?
Doing good. Thanks for having me up here.
We're happy to have you here. You're an absolute legend in the cooking game, so we're excited to have you out here today. And we got a ton of questions for you, but the most important question of all, Ken, is what's on the menu today?
What's on the menu? We're going to cook some Cajun. You guys got to wear the part.
Oh, yes.
We got the king of the Mardi Gras
King of the
and
Mardi
the
Gras.
court jester right here with us. What we're cooking up today, we're going to do a little blackened redfish Atchafalaya with some Cajun boudin and some andouille. And what I'm going to tell you, who could tell me what Atchafalaya is, gets to come out here and try it. But we're going to blacken the fish. Redfish is a Gulf Coast region fish that we use a lot down in Louisiana. Atchafalaya just simply means really topped with a crawfish etouffee. So we're going to make some of that also. We might even show one of these guys how to eat and what to do with the crawfish when it's whole. We'll see. We'll see if we can do that.
Brandon, Blackened Redfish was popularized in the 80s by Paul Prudhomme.
Paul Prudhomme.
Yes, sir. It was so popular, Brandon, that it was nearly overfished, and the federal government had to step in to keep it from getting, just devastating the population. That's how good this is going to be.
Wow, okay, I'm excited about that. Ken, what made you decide to do this dish today? Why is it important to you?
When we did a lot of these things on a show in the past, it's kind of an item that's a true Cajun dish. When someone comes in the restaurant, what can I get just Cajun besides the gumbo, or I can get that anywhere? Atchafalaya, first you got to learn how to say it, spell it, but then to eat it. It is something that, if you're a Cajun restaurant, you ought to have it. You're going to come out of town to a tourist area and eat Cajun food, that's what I would try. I'd get something there that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Love it.
And it's that type of dish.
Love it. Now, let's talk a little bit about your backstory. Let's talk about, what you do, what you've done being a chef. He's got a lot of accolades here, so let's talk about it.
Well, I'm one of these culinary schools, I will admit, hated me because I didn't go day one to culinary education. I had an accounting background.
Oh.
Paid myself through college by being a Rodney Dangerfield impersonator. And a lot of people don't know that. We won't go into that. I'll keep this PG. None of that. But I had a good time. But I loved cooking. Cooked a lot. I loved the arts. I loved being able to create something different. I spent a lot of time with Hilton, and then I spent time in arenas and stadiums basically because the hours were better. I tell anybody going into culinary school, you can also go to a 4-star hotel and start at the bottom, and you can learn everything in a couple of years. And then you could hop around the country a little bit. And when I got tired of doing that, when I had my first child, we got our own restaurant and had it. It's been almost 27 years.
Congrats.
And we just sold this past May, and now I'm retired. I'm up at Savannah Lakes Village. I love it up there. And it's just a great place to live.
That's awesome.
We know with all these accolades and you being a Dangerfield impersonator, do you get any respect now?
Well, I used to, but that's what I love about social media. When I first started, I didn't have social media. Now you read the reviews and the power of the pen, and I'll tell you, I get no respect. But that's how it goes. You take it, and that's how you live with it.
I love it. Well, we're going to head to the kitchen, but before we go, we got another guest that we want to introduce, and we want to talk about this book. Let's go ahead and get our next guest on out here. Well, we got, this is the first for the Your Hometown Kitchen. Ken, who do we have here? And yes, who is our lovely guest here?
This is Beignet Boucher. He's kind of the face of our restaurant for years. He's actually the third one that we've had. And he actually writes cookbooks.
Wow.
I noticed that. He was written by Beignet Boucher.
He's had book tours, book signings. But this dog has gotten well known. If you watch ESPN Game Day when you're in Athens, he's the dog that loves to bark at the cameras.
Woo.
And he's made a name for himself up there. He loves the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah.
So he's born and bred, but he also writes cookbooks.
What kind of things are we going to find in this cookbook? I'm curious.
Well, he's got a section in there on tailgating in Athens. He's got some of them loved him Florida gator bites and some chicken wings and things like that aren't always on our menu, but they're fun stuff. And then we have a lot of our Cajun items on there too, and the book is kind of a neat with some of the pictures of the bulldogs, and we also tell the story on how it all got started.
Now let me ask you this: Is Beignet your sous chef? Is he always testing your recipes?
He eats everything. So we know, and sometimes, and I always like tell people that my mother did not teach me how to cook. When we had dogs when I was a kid, and when you take that food down to the bottom of the table and see if the dog would eat it, the dog wouldn't even eat it. I ain't eating this. So this dog here loves to eat. He doesn't like broccoli. Maybe.
Doesn't like broccoli.
But, there's a few things, but, that's, he's a good, people love the restaurant to come in. They want to see the bulldog. He's more popular down there than my wife and I are.
Wow.
Yeah, they want to see that dog.
Well, I'm absolutely excited to have him here today. Absolutely fantastic first. Just a good boy.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to come back on and you can cook your own little recipe. Yeah?
He'll come back and fry some turkeys for you.
Look at
shortly.
you.
He loves to do that.
You fry some turkeys.
Yeah.
And Brandon, I think we're ready to put these skills to the test.
Yes, you guys, that's enough talk. Let's take it to the kitchen. All right, welcome, Ken, to the prestigious Your Hometown Kitchen. And as you guys can see, we got a little bit more swag here, Jared. Look at this. I'm looking good.
Yes.
Yeah, you like it? All right, Ken, let's talk about these ingredients that we have here. What are we working with today?
All right, let's see what we got here. I'm going to start off here. We got our filet of redfish.
Beautiful filet.
Fillets, and then here we got the boudin sausage.
Boudin.
Which we'll talk about that once we start cooking. And I got some sliced andouille
Nice.
sausage, which we're going to have.
Can't do Cajun without
Well,
andouille.
I've almost put my hand in it. We got my starting my roux, which I like to use a fry all with the flour, and you want to let that cook as long as you can. The darker, the better.
Yes.
But some people, everyone's got their own way of doing it. Got some crawfish tail meat here, which we're going to put in the
Love it.
etouffee. Then I got some seasoning rubs, some blackening spice. All of your etouffee, the way I've always done it, the Creole, the gumbos, always get the trio of the celery, the peppers, and the onions. Diced tomatoes. That's going to go in it. We'll show you the order. Also put a little chopped garlic in there. And then over here we got some fresh green tomatoes. We're going to fry some green tomatoes today. Figure we're in Georgia, we can have some fried green tomatoes. Just
Love
like
it.
the
Yes, sir.
movie. Love the movie.
You love it.
And you guys, when we come back, we got a lot of more fun, exciting things happening on Your Hometown Kitchen. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Welcome back to Your Hometown Kitchen. Brandon Dawson, Jarrett Ledger, and Chef Ken here in the building cooking up some Cajun delight right now. Ken, are you ready to get started?
I'm ready, but I noticed this apron you got on. What's that say? Real men don't use recipes. He must know what a real Cajun cook is. Just a little handful of this and maybe a squirt of that. So you got that right. So okay.
Look, Ken has up to my game, my swag game, every single commercial break. So every time I come back, I'm just going to have something new. So let's go.
All right. So what we talked about the roux earlier. So this has been cooking for a while. It's getting a little browner. A little like peanut butter based, but we'll just, not peanut butter based, but kind of the consistency.
Yeah,
where it's gonna
the
look
color.
like that. So we're going to leave that alone for a little bit.
Yeah.
Now I've got my redfish fillets, which I'm going to put in my cast iron. I've already got a little oil on that. So we're going to cook two. I think Brandon probably eat a whole one by himself.
Oh, you know
But we
I
got
would.
a little Cajun spice, which I'm going to put that on there. And I like it hot. If you don't like it hot, don't put any on there. But we're going to put a little bit on there. And then with the room that we've got on the side, since this is all going in the same area anyway, I'm going to go and put a little bit of boudin. Those can tell me what boudin is. You probably don't want to tell people what boudin is. So I'm not going to say what's in it, but I love it. It's a nice soft textured sausage. Cooks well really easy on the flat top there. So we're going to let those cook for a little bit. I got a little bit of lemon, which I'll just leave whole like that. I like sticking it on top. It gets the natural juices flowing into the fish itself. Let's crank this up a little bit.
All right. Now, Ken, I got to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
You got your seasoning on that fish there. If anybody's starting off doing any Louisiana cooking, any Cajun Creole kitchen recipe, what's the first season that everybody needs to have in their pantry? Like, what's the go-to? You got to have it.
Thyme leaf.
Thyme.
Ground thyme. Garlic, I don't think really garlic is being a seasoning, but you got to have a lot of garlic also. Thyme leaf, well, a lot of people, if you don't really know how to make a gumbo with a dark roux, the thyme leaf is actually what gives it a lot of the color.
Oh.
But you see a lot of ground thyme in your Creole sauce, your red beans has a little bit in it, and especially your gumbo and your etouffee. So that's the one main seasoning, and then a lot of white pepper. And of course, everyone's got their own way of making their own Cajun spice. They're all good. You know, you put on it what you like. I'm not going to come on a show and say, well, you got to use this certain kind of Cajun spice because that's what's going to make it. You got to learn how to cook it. That's what the thing is going to be.
You come across as a guy who doesn't buy this pre-mixed blackening season. You seem like you make your own.
I had a fella down there who I worked with in New Orleans, Leon West, up in heaven now, great man, taught me a lot. He actually made his own Cajun spice. And when I opened my own place, because he was the chef at the New Orleans Superdome and the Convention Center, and I bought it from him, barbecue spice and a Cajun, and I finally just learned how to make my own because the freight on the stuff costs really more than what the spices were. Oh. But it's a lot of blend of what, starting really with cayenne, basically, if you want it really hot. But there's good ones on the market, you know, and it's something that you put your own twist to it.
Yeah.
Brandon, are you smelling that fish?
I'm smelling this fish right now.
I think it might be time to turn one
absolutely fantastic. He's right. I could eat that whole thing right now. I could eat that whole thing.
Mix the lemons a little bit over. Squeeze a little bit of lemon in it.
Yep.
Now, Brandon, the trick to a good cooked fish is that you want that fish to flake when you put a fork on it.
Really? Really?
I'm even going to put a little more spice.
You put as much spice on there
here
as you
I
want.
got a little bit of just the white pepper mix.
Now, Ken, let's talk about you've had quite the cooking career. You got your own restaurant. You're retired now. So, man, what does it all mean for you looking back on this whole thing and just seeing where you're at now?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I got into cooking kind of through the underground basement door. I had culinary students work for me that thought, you know, I'm going to get my fancy degree and I'm just going to go own a restaurant. And they end up getting the same type of job starting out that anyone else would if you want to learn the business. I didn't like when I look at my wife, how she put up with me the first 10, 12 years. We were in a different city every year.
Yeah.
And if you really want to make and go after the money, that's what you had to do. When we opened our own place, that was something we always wanted to do. We were down on Hilton Head Island, took over a little old bagel shop, turned it into a Cajun restaurant that lasted 27 years, and it's still down there.
Yeah.
So it made it kind of worth it. I was able to use my accounting and my marketing background, and I tell you what, for those young chefs that want to do it, it was really made it all come full circle to me, where I liked controlling your own destiny. I didn't like getting transferred every year. I didn't like losing contracts every year. You know, with this thing, you're willing to work, you're going to make it. Some people that go in buying restaurants and they don't think they need to be there and run it.
Yeah.
And that's what worked for me. Everybody's different with that, but it was time. Retired to the lake. I'm spending more time with my family. I have a new grandson who lives right here near North Augusta.
Congratulations.
That's why we moved here.
Very nice.
You know, and I'm going to be there for them. But owning your own, I mean, my boys grew up in the restaurant, and it was kind of nice. We did spend a lot of time together, even though we worked a lot.
Yeah. All right, well, guys, when we come back, we're going to let Chef Ken finish up what we're doing here. We'll see you guys in a little bit for some more Your Hometown Kitchen. That's Smoke Thing.
Welcome back to Your Hometown Kitchen. Jarrett Ledger, Brandon Dawson, and we are in the kitchen with a man who exudes the phrase, laissez les bon temps rouler. We're talking about Kenny B. And he's making for us some blackened redfish and some etouffee. Ooh. So what are we going to do with this etouffee?
All right, starting the etouffee right now. And again, I'm using equal parts, you know, since I don't know how to measure. But we're going to use some onion, just chopped yellow onion. You got some green pepper. And then some diced celery.
And now you said that was the trio. I believe some people also would prefer that as the Holy Trinity.
Yes, that's exactly right.
We're not trying to get biblical, but the taste is heavenly.
But then we're going to stir that around a little bit. Now what I've got here is a seafood base. Now you can get this at the market. You can make your own. Some people even like with your crawfish shells. You can use, if you're doing a shrimp, take the shell, take the juice out of it, make your base.
Yeah.
But some of us on a time frame here, and we're making a big pots of it. I just put a little bit in there. Gives it a little flavoring. So we're going with that. And then I'm going what I call my garlic soy sauce mix. Well, put a little bit of soy sauce in the chopped garlic and oil. That gives it a nice flavor. Now I'm pouring some of that in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and go with some of my diced tomatoes. And again, a canned diced tomato is what I've always used.
Are you buying the fire roasted kind? Or?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And then but you don't want all the juice, kind of take some of the juice out of it. So we're going to go with that, and then we're just going to saute all of this down.
Very nice. Now, Ken, I want to talk more about this book that you got going on that your dog wrote, that the dog
right.
100% wrote.
Beignet Boucher.
Yeah. What are the type of recipes that people are going to find in there, and what's been the response from people since you put it out there?
Well, the book originally started, this is our 5th book. Now, the dog didn't write all of them. I think he's been involved in the last 3, and he also had the little Frenchie Bulldog we had wrote with him the last 2 of them. But we don't bring him here.
Yeah.
But anyway, my daughter-in-law gave me the idea a few years back. She says, you know, we live up in Wisconsin now, and I want to make an etouffee from Kenny B's, and I don't know how to do it. So that's what kind of gave me the thing one day around Thanksgiving. I thought, I'm going to write a cookbook. And ended up doing the first one, and it has a lot of our signature items on there. But along with the recipes and with all the books that we've sold, what I've learned the best is people like the stories in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They like to know why I'm a New York Mets fan, for God's sake. Well, it says that in there. They want to know why you got all these Bulldog stuff. Why all the Bulldogs? You know, you're in South Carolina, for God's sake. Yeah, all these Bulldogs. Well, it's in the book.
Got kind of a who's who of celebrities
Oh,
in
yeah,
there in that
exactly.
book. I saw Pat McAfee in there.
Pat McAfee
A
loved
bunch
that
of people.
dog.
Yeah.
He
Bunch
even
of
took
people.
his shirt off for it.
Wow.
Here we go. I've made now. They don't need to be a chef, you know. You just take that Bulldog around Athens and Georgia.
Kenny, you have lived quite the amazing life. So, you know, as we sit back on here and, you know, again, retired now, the restaurant's off doing its thing now. Do you miss any of it, man?
You miss it. Well, I don't know. I mean, because it's been a year in the making. I mean, we all get older. We all have health issues that you're not able to do what you once did.
Yeah.
And you realize, I feel like sometimes Lou Gehrig, you know, well, no, I'm not saying I'm Lou Gehrig.
Yeah.
But I mean, but you think of somebody that did what he loved
Yeah.
for all those years, and he recognized the fact that, hey, you know, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I like the fact the fella that bought Kenny B's was actually a very well-known baseball player. And I've known him since he was a little kid. He's actually from Louisiana. So it's like a part of me is still there,
Yeah.
you know, and he wanted to keep everything the same. He took some of our Bulldog rooms and now has a Gamecock room. So good there, got Clemson room. I mean, mix it around a little bit. So, but he's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of the energy that I really didn't have. But it's a, you know, I'd like to see him, if I were that age that he was and I started this, instead of waiting till I was in my 30s. I mean, like I told my wife, I had a career even before we went out on our own.
Yeah.
So it was kind of I'm anxious to see him grow with it. But yeah, I miss it, but that's why we kind of moved up here. You know, it'd be different if I were still in the neighborhood. You know, I broke away. I have a whole new life up here.
Yeah. Well, again, we want to thank you very much for coming out here and doing this and showcasing your skills, doing an absolutely incredible job. And we're going to see what it's looking like when we come back after this break. We'll see you guys in a little bit for some more Your Hometown Kitchen. Welcome back to Your Hometown Kitchen. Brandon Dawson, Jarrett Ledger, and we got Chef Kenny B here in the building. And you guys, look at the feast that Kenny B has cooked up
That's
for
a full
us.
plate, Brandon.
It's a full plate. Kenny, talk to us about what you did during the break.
All right, I'm getting ready to eat here, but what we did here, we were talking about the roux earlier, so we've added the roux with the crawfish meat and the andouille with a little bit of water stock into the pot here and made the crawfish etouffee, and then you just let it simmer. You want that consistency like a stew.
Yes.
And that's our etouffee right there. Earlier we fried some of the green tomatoes, and again, nice and crispy.
Yes.
What I do is I put them in an egg wash. Little eggs, a little bit of milk. And then you can get some breading mix. You get chicken breader, you can get seafood breader. You don't want to just use flour. I like just a standard breading mix. You can get it at the market. Dip it in the egg wash, dip it in the breading, then you just fry them in the oil. Flip them a couple of times, and you got a nice consistency there. We got some of our remoulade sauce that I put on top. I get asked this a lot. Well, what is remoulade? Why do you make that? And basically, it's just Cajun spice and mayonnaise. Mix it together. In a little consistency. If you like it a little spicier, put a little more Cajun spice in it. But that's what a remoulade is.
Sounds like it's right up my alley. Now it's time to get into
This is the main event, Brandon. The blackened fish Blackened Redfish and the Etouffee.
Yeah, here we go.
And you got your boudin there on the top.
Yeah,
And
we
the
got a lot.
boudin.
Yeah, there's
We
a
won't say what's in the boudin.
yeah, there's a lot going on here. I'm excited about it. So I want to get a little bit of.
You want the
everything
redfish,
here, yeah.
Brandon, with the etouffee on top of it.
Yeah, I
oh,
wanna
we
get-
got a nice and flaky
I'm
fish.
getting a little bit
That's
of,
what
I'm
you're
getting a
looking
little
for.
bit of everything here. Here we go. Getting a little bit of everything. Here we go. Ooh.
And a lot of the etouffees are good just over a white rice, which we've got some here. Can't have a good Cajun meal without some good French bread.
I know
We've got
this is a
some of that on
redfish,
there
but
also.
holy mackerel.
That is good. Got that kick to
Flaky,
it. Got
and
the-
that heat creeps up on you.
Yeah, the heat, but I like it. I like the heat. Good job, Kenny B. Kenny B, if people are trying to keep up with you and find out about your book, where do they go? What do they do?
Well, since we moved up here, like I said, trying to retire, but my wife and I want to start doing some farmers markets, and we're probably looking at the one in Augusta on Saturdays, and we probably start off with just selling our gumbo. We could sell some cookbooks. We've also got our own hot sauce labels that we do
Yes.
with the Kenny B's hot sauce. It's just something that, and again, over the years of being down on the island, we always had a good customer base from the Aiken and Augusta area. I would always used to say it was my busiest week of the year was the week of the Masters because everybody leaves Augusta and they come down to Hilton Head area. And it's just been, we have a good customer base. Some people we've seen up here that don't realize we live up here yet. But it's always been a nice spot for us to land. So that's probably what I'm looking at now. And hopefully in the next month or so, we'll be doing a farmer's market down there.
Well, Kenny, I want to thank you again for coming out here and taking us on a absolute flavor journey here right now. Absolutely fantastic. You guys, we'll see you guys later for some more in Your Hometown Kitchen. We got eating to do here, so. Later, guys.